just desperately need to go through these makeup palettes and declutter them. So here we are. I don't even know where to start because I just have so many and I don't use them. I used to wear a lot more makeup than I do now. I used to do like crazy eye looks all of the time, really, really heavy makeup. But in recent years, I much prefer a sort of toned down look. I still do enjoy like having a wing, an eyeliner wing, and things like that. But in terms of a lot of colour, I don't tend to do crazy eye looks anymore. On some occasions I will, but I used to do it like every day, and that's a bit too much for me now. I much prefer to sort of not wear any makeup, maybe some mascara, maybe a little eyeliner wing, maybe some contour and some concealer under my eyes, but that's sort of the extent of what I'll do. Hence why I have all of these palettes just sitting here that I haven't used in ages. So let's jump into it. I'm going to move these off to the side and we'll start here with this palette. This is the Inglot, and I actually like this palette because it is completely customizable, and essentially you just buy the individual bands and stick them into the actual palette. So you can, like I said, completely customize the whole thing. This has a mix of shimmers and mattes. This is just the ones I started out with, and you can see that I literally haven't used these at all. But I think because the fact that you only have to buy one palette, you buy one palette and you can completely customize it. I think I will keep this. I have mentioned in one of like my makeup skincare hauls before that I am currently prioritizing, and will do so in the future, purchasing makeup when I need to that is eco-friendly, reusable packaging, etc., etc., just to reduce the amount of waste that I am producing. So I think this one is going to go into the keep pile. Alrighty, the next one we have here is this little mini elf. This is, if I can open it, literally just these four shadows. This palette is perfect for just carrying around with you in a bag, probably perfect for traveling as well. I think I will keep this one. I have actually used it. I don't know the eyelids if I don't put powder on them, even if I'm just like mattifying my face with a pressed powder. I need to do my eyelids. So I think I will keep this one. Alrighty. The next palette I have here is the Talking Flirty. Morphe eyeshadow palette. I remember this palette being quite pretty. I'm not sure how to show this without, oh, now we have a cat here. I don't know how to show this without showing the mirror, but this is what the colours in the palette are. It is a pretty good sort of neutral palette with some fun colours like these light blue and purple here, but for the most part it's quite neutral. I have used these shades a bunch, and this one. This is a hard choice for me on this one. I do have another Morphe palette similar to this. It's pink. So I might leave this to the side for now, because I'm not sure if I like this palette or that one, and whichever one I like more I'll keep. I think this has colours I use more, but we'll compare them both when I get up to that one. So for now, it's a maybe. The next palette I have here is this MAC. This is another small compact one. Again, I do like the colours in this. This is so difficult to choose what I'm keeping. Oh, it's such a good size. Why is this so difficult? This is way harder than the perfumes. Again, this is a great travel palette. I actually do not know if I want to keep this or not. I think if I were to pick between the two, I would pick the MAC one. So I think I will put this in the no pile and replace this one with this one, just because it's not that much bigger, but it has more shades and more versatility because it has some shimmers in there. Okay, I am going to keep this one, and this one is going to move to the no. The next one I have isn't really a palette. I think there's just two shades in here. This is the Fenty Beauty. Let me just check if there's a mirror. And it just has two shimmer this is hard. I think I want to keep this just because it can be used as highlighter as well, even though I don't really use highlighter. It's still good to have the option. I do love putting a glimmer in the inner corners of my eyelids when I do a wing. So I think I'll keep this one for now at least, unless I've got something similar that's better. Alrighty, this next palette is another Morphe one, neutral territory. From memory, the top of this one is broken, so I can just show you. As you can see, I've hit pan on this shade here, and I do and slash did use this all of the time, as you can see. Again, I don't know whether to keep this or not. I think I have all of these shades in other palettes, and I've also got in my everyday makeup bag little singular versions of all of these shades, so I think that I will get rid of this one. It is also broken, so it does make it difficult to carry around. So this is going to go into the nose. Alrighty, the next palette I have here is a Smashbox palette. The Spotlight palette Pearl. From memory, this is also a shimmer palette. Let me have a little look. There's a mirror. There is. These are the shimmers. Because I kept the Fenty Beauty one, I think I will get rid of this one. I just don't need multiple of the same thing, so I think I will get rid of this. Next one here is another, okay, I don't know if you can see it, there we go, another Smashbox. This is the Cover Shoot Prism Eye Palette. I have used this palette so much. It has some really amazing shimmer shades here. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Let me get it to focus. This one and this one are like incredible. That's not gonna do it justice, I don't think. But is a bit of a weird combination, but I think I am going to keep this one. I've had this one for ages, but I always end up coming back to it, so I do think I will keep it. Alrighty, the next palette I have is pretty beat up. I've had this palette for such a long time. This is the Norvina Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. From memory, I did use this palette quite a bit, but we shall find out. Let me just check the mirror situation. Okay, I can flip this round. Awesome. Okay, this is the color palette of this one. It comes with a brush, which is awesome. You can see I've used Dreamer quite a lot, and some of these shades here, and some of these glimmers. It feels like such a waste getting rid of a palette like this, but I mean, this color and this color both exist in this Talking Flirty palette. And there are more colors in this one, but this palette is better formulated. Okay, hold on. Okay, these are the colors in this one, and these are the colors. I mean, they're very similar, but I think just because this one has more range, I need to go to keep this one and get rid of this one. My cat is wanting attention. Cute. So I think it's with a heavy heart that I get rid of this one. I've had it for so long as well. That was one of the first palettes that I ever purchased when I was like 16 years old, and I am 23 at the moment, so you can do the math on how long I've had this palette for. It's definitely past its use by date. Goodbye. Speaking of having palettes for a long time, this is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I mean, I love the sounds that it makes, but this is the first makeup palette that I ever bought. On the back, it says it has a pot life of 12 months, and I have definitely had this palette for a lot longer than 12 months. Okay, let me see if I can flip the mirror around. I cannot. Okay, that's fine. This is the color palette on this one. You can see here I've hit pan. It's always on these colors because that is the same color pretty much as my skin tone. So that's the main color that I use to start off all of my eyeshadow looks. I've also used Tempting and a few others, and Puree and Nectar as well, I suppose, and a few others, but again, this palette is very similar to another one that I'm keeping. So I don't really see the point of keeping this one as well. They're all very neutral tone colours. There's not really any really interesting ones. So I think that this palette will be going. It is sad to part with these, especially the ones that I've had for such a long time, just because it's like the first makeup palette that I've ever purchased, but I just don't use it, so I can't really justify keeping it. Actually, you know, I'm gonna put this in maybe, just because I think it would be cool in like 50 years to pull out this palette and be like, yeah, this is the first piece of makeup that I ever purchased. Okay, I'm gonna put it in maybe. The next palette I have here is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. Back in the day, this palette was everything. Everything. I still have the little eye sheet that covers the. This is the colours on this one. Again, it's very similar to a lot of the palettes that I've said no to. These Twilight and Retrograde colours are absolutely stunning. I really like this palette. I want to keep this one. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep this one. It's just too pretty not to keep, and I really love these, a lot of these colours. And I know a lot of them are similar, but those shimmer colours, I mean, they're just stunning. Okay, yeah, I'm keeping that. The next palette I have here is the Naked. I think this is the Naked 3. I'm not sure, by Urban Decay Cherry. This again was such a popular palette back in the day. This is the colours we've got going on here. Again, you can tell what colour palettes I really enjoy. I have not used this enough to justify keeping it, and this is essentially the Huda Beauty palette, so I think I am gonna get rid of this one. It's, yeah, like I said, essentially exactly the same. Goodbye. Alright, this is the other Morphe palette that I was talking about before that is similar but pink. let's have a look. I still have this thing. Okay. This is the colour palette here. It is very similar to that purple one. Let me get the purple one up. Okay, this is this pink one. This is the purple one. Pink one. Purple one. Pink one. Purple one. And you know what? I think I actually like this pink one more. It has more neutrals. Oh, this is such a hard choice. Oh, I love that deep purple colour there. Oh man. I have no idea what to pick. Okay. That is really annoying. I thought it was gonna be an easy decision. I thought I was gonna just open the palette and no. But I really can't decide. I think I'm gonna stick with my initial decision and keep this palette and get rid of this one. Yeah. Okay, the next palette, I already know what I'm doing with this one, and it may be shocking. This is the Blood Sugar palette by Jeffree Star. I obviously do not support Jeffree Star anymore, but I am sorry to say that his cosmetic brand, Jeffree Star Cosmetics, makes some of the best makeup. I won't ever repurchase from him, but while I still have this to use, I am going to keep it just because it is such a good palette. The formulation is incredible. The palette itself is like such a pain in the ass to take around because it's literally massive, but the formulation is great. And I really love these colours here, and obviously these. It is a bit random, like some of the colours I won't really use, but just the formulation. If anyone knows of any other makeup brands that are formulated just as good as these palettes, please let me know, because it is seriously such a good palette. Alright, this next palette is the Profusion Cosmetics Naturals. I am not gonna keep this one because it's just so similar to, and I can't even open it. It is just so similar to so many of the other palettes that I've kept so far. I've never really reached for this. As you can tell, it's like pretty much brand new on the inside. It's only the outside that's been dinged up. Okay, I have two more. This one is another Morphe again, it's just I've got like all of these shades in other palettes, and like it is handy to have them all in one palette, but I just don't think that I would reach for this when I've got them elsewhere. I love this shade here, as you can see, but again, I have a very similar shade to that elsewhere that's probably better. I don't find myself reaching a lot for Morphe palettes because I just don't think the formulation is that good. There's usually a lot more brands that are formulated better than Morphe. I'm getting rid of that one. Okay, the last palette I have here is controversial, and I probably should have gotten rid of this palette a long time ago, and I know exactly where this palette is going. This is the Morphe X James Charles palette. I mean, listen guys, he's a pedophile. I'm getting rid of this palette, even though it is a rainbow palette. Realistically, when am I ever going to use half of these colours? I love that they're in this palette. I love a rainbow, but like I haven't even reached for any of them, as you can see. No. So yeah, I already know what I'm doing with this. It's going. I should have got rid of it a long time ago. The fact that this is even still in my collection just shows how long it's been since I have touched any of these palettes. Okay, so we have decided that we are getting rid of this Morphe James Charles palette. We are getting rid of this neutral Morphe palette, the Profusion Naturals palette, the Vava Bloom Morphe palette, the Naked Urban Decay Cherry palette, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette, the Smashbox Mini palette, the Elf Mini palette, and the Morphe Neutrals palette. This is what we're getting rid of. Okay, what are we keeping? We are keeping the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. We are keeping the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. We are keeping the Inglot Build Your Own palette. That's gonna be really good. We are keeping the Talking Flirty Morphe palette. We are keeping the Fenty Beauty and the MAC mini palettes. We are keeping the Smashbox palette, and I think I am going to keep this Too Faced palette just as a keepsake. That's pretty good. This is what we're keeping. This is what we're getting rid of. I'm pretty happy with that. We're getting rid of more than we're keeping. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me as we went through the process of decluttering my makeup palettes. Like I said, this is just so helpful for me, so I hope that this reaches an audience who likes decluttering videos or who also needs to sit with someone else to declutter their own things. I fall into both worries. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel down below. I will see you guys in the next video.